I raised my daughters on my own as a single father after my wife left, chasing a better life. Now she's back, and her new husband wants to adopt my daughters. Then my daughter said something that broke me, telling me he fits into our lives better. There are moments in life that just punch you in the gut, moments where everything you thought you knew about love and family shatters. For me, that moment came when my own daughters, the girls I'd dedicated 20 years to raising, chose another man over me. And now that their shiny new life isn't quite as perfect as they'd imagined, they think I'll just drop everything and be their safety net again. No. Not this time. Let me rewind a bit. I'm Jake, 45 now. I work as a logistics coordinator in Pennsylvania, a job that's steady, pays the bills, and lets me live in a house I actually own. Met Melissa when I was 25. She had this spark, this infectious energy. We talked about the flyers, grabbed coffee, and soon enough, we were building a life. She had dreams of being a photographer, bigger than our small town, and I admired that drive. Then Hannah arrived. Not planned, but we figured it out. Got married at the courthouse, no fuss. Holding Hannah in the hospital, 7 pounds of pure perfection, I thought, this is it. This is what life's supposed to be. 2 years later, Lily came along. We were a family. I thought we were solid. But Melissa, around 2007, she started getting restless. Her photography dreams became this burning thing she couldn't ignore. I supported her, worked extra, rearranged my schedule to handle the mornings with the girls so she could chase her passion. I believe that's what marriage was, supporting each other, even when it was hard. By 2009, things were falling apart. She stopped pretending to be happy. She'd come home from her photography meetups, talking about travel, opportunities she was missing, how trapped she felt. The girls noticed. Kids always do. Hannah would ask why mommy was always on her computer looking at other countries. Lily started having nightmares about mommy leaving. Turns out, they weren't just nightmares. March 2010. Right after Hannah's 7th birthday, Melissa sat me down. She couldn't do it anymore. Not the marriage, not the motherhood, not the quiet suburban life. She'd met someone through her photography group, a guy named Philip. He traveled, showed her a life free of obligations. Those obligations were our daughters. She wanted a divorce. She wanted to move to Colorado with Philip and find herself through her art. She said the girls would be better off with me because I was stable, reliable, and she wasn't meant to be a traditional mother. I asked about custody. She said no. Said it would be better if I had primary custody, and she'd visit when her schedule allowed. Just like that, she was gone. My world tilted on its axis. Being a single dad to 2 girls under 8 while working full-time. It was exactly as chaotic as it sounds. Those first few months were brutal. Hannah went quiet at school. Lily started wetting the bed again. They'd ask when mommy was coming back, and I'd explain, over and over, that mommy lived somewhere else now, but she still loved them. That lie tasted bitter every single time I said it. I learned to braid hair from YouTube videos at 6 in the morning. Mastered the art of packing lunchboxes that wouldn't get them teased. Figured out which teachers to email, which ones to just let CC me on everything. My job was understanding, but they had limits. I used up all my vacation days that first year on sick kids and school emergencies. I'd bring work home, catching up on reports after the girls were asleep, eating cold chicken nuggets at the kitchen counter. Melissa called maybe once a month that first year. Always from some new, exciting place, Denver, Portland, Seattle. Always with excuses about why she couldn't visit. Always with promises she'd see them soon. Hannah stopped asking after the first missed birthday. Lily held out hope until she was 7. Then she just accepted it. We were a 2-person family now. Our house became our fortress. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, a small backyard with a swing set I'd built one weekend while the girls helped by handing me the wrong screws. We had our routines. Structure kept us sane. I learned to cook real meals, not just frozen dinners. Turns out, I was pretty decent at pasta and grilled chicken. The girls started requesting specific meals, and I kept a list on the fridge. Hannah became my serious kid, always worrying, always trying to make sure I wasn't too tired or Lily wasn't too loud. She'd set the table without being asked, remind me about parent-teacher conferences. She grew up too fast. Lily was the opposite, pure energy and chaos, with questions that never stopped. Why is the sky blue? Where does rain come from? Can we please get a dog even though I've said no 17 times? She kept me from getting too deep in my head. They were good kids. Great kids, actually. I was at every game, every recital, every parent-teacher conference. Sometimes I'd look around at all the two-parent families and feel this heavy weight in my chest. But then one of my girls would wave at me from the field, and I'd remember why I was doing this. Melissa's calls became less frequent over the years. Birthdays were just a text, maybe a gift card. Christmas, a generic, thinking of you, card. Eventually, even that stopped. The girls stopped mentioning her by the time Hannah hit middle school. When other kids asked about their mom, they'd just say she lived far away. Easier than explaining the truth. Fast forward to 2024. Hannah's 21, finishing her last year at Penn State, studying graphic design. Lily's 19, taking a gap year, working at a local bookstore while figuring things out. Both still live at home. Not because they have to, but because we're a unit, and none of us saw a reason to change that. Hannah pays me rent from her part-time campus job, even though I tell her she doesn't have to. Lily helps with groceries, handles most of the cooking now. I'm incredibly proud of who they became, despite everything. Then, one random Tuesday in August, I get a text from a number I haven't seen in 3 years. Melissa. Hey Jake, I know it's been a while, but I'm back in Pennsylvania. Would love to see the girls if they're willing. I have so much to tell them. My first instinct was to delete it. My second was to unleash 14 years of anger. Instead, I just forwarded it to Hannah and Lily. Your call. Whatever you decide, I support. Hannah responded first, I'm curious. Maybe we should meet her. Lily, only if you come with us. 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in a chain coffee shop downtown, the kind that smells like burnt coffee and regret, waiting to meet the woman who walked out on her family 14 years ago. She walks in. Older, obviously. Shorter hair, expensive clothes, this new confidence. Behind her is some guy in khakis and a polo, tall, clean-cut, the type who probably plays golf and has strong opinions about lawn care. Jake, girls, this is Cameron, my husband. Husband. Hannah and Lily just stare. I keep my face neutral. Cameron sits down like he owns the place. Orders some complicated coffee. Melissa talks. About finding herself in Colorado, how her photography career took off, galleries across the country. How she met Cameron 2 years ago, they got married last summer. Cool story. What does this have to do with our daughters? Then she gets to it. I know I made mistakes. I know I wasn't there for you girls when I should have been. She's looking at Hannah and Lily with this practiced sadness that makes my teeth ache. But I'm in a better place now. I'm ready to be the mother you deserved all along. The coffee shop suddenly feels too small, too warm, like the walls are closing in. Lily speaks first, her voice small. What does that mean? It means I want to be part of your lives again. A real part, not just texts and cards. Cameron and I bought a house in Harrisburg. It's big, plenty of space. We'd love for you both to visit, to spend time with us, to build the relationship we should have had all along. Hannah looks at me, but I keep my expression blank. This is their choice. Cameron clears his throat. I know this is a lot to process, but I want you to know I'm fully supportive of Melissa rebuilding her relationship with you both. I'm a family law attorney, so I understand how complex these situations can be. I'm here to support however I can. A family law attorney, of course. The meeting ends with promises to stay in touch, to plan another get-together. Melissa hugs both girls before they leave. They let her, but their bodies are stiff, uncertain. On the drive home, nobody talks. Hannah stares out the window. Lily plays with her phone. I focus on the road, trying not to think about what this means. What do you think? I finally ask. I don't know, Hannah says quietly. Part of me wants to be angry, but another part is just curious. Like maybe she's different now. Lily adds, she seemed nice. Cameron, too. Nice. Sure. Over the next few months, Melissa becomes a presence in their lives. Not a big presence, more like a shadow that keeps showing up at the edges. Weekend visits to Harrisburg, dinner invitations, texts checking in. She's trying, I'll give her that. Trying to insert herself into lives she abandoned years ago. Cameron's always there, playing the supportive stepfather, asking about school, work, interests. Taking them to fancy restaurants I could never afford, showing them what life could look like with more money, more stability, more. Hannah starts talking about Melissa's photography more, how cool it is that she's made a career out of her passion, how brave she was to pursue her dreams, even when it was hard. The word brave almost makes me laugh. Brave would have been staying and being a mother. Lily mentions Cameron bought her a new laptop for her online classes. Top of the line, better than anything I could have bought her. He said I should have the best tools for my education, she tells me over dinner one night. I just nod and take another bite of the meatloaf I made from the same recipe I've been using for 15 years. December rolls around. Melissa invites both girls to spend Christmas in Harrisburg. Cameron's family will be there. We're planning this whole big thing. You girls should be part of it. Hannah looks at me when she mentions it. We've always done Christmas here, though. Just the three of us. Hey, if you want to go, go. I'm not going to stop you from spending time with your mother. The words taste wrong, but I force them out anyway. They go. Christmas morning, I wake up in an empty house for the first time in 21 years. I make coffee. Turn on some football game I'm not really watching. Try not to think about what they're doing in Harrisburg. My phone buzzes around noon. Hannah, Merry Christmas, Dad. Miss you. Lily, Mom got us so much stuff. Also, Cameron's brother has a golden retriever and I'm in love. Miss you. I send back generic holiday wishes and try to enjoy my quiet house. They come back 3 days later with bags full of expensive gifts and stories about Cameron's lake house and his family's traditions. Both of them seem lighter somehow, like they'd tasted something they'd been missing and couldn't quite go back to what they had before. February 2025. Cold enough that my truck takes 3 tries to start most mornings. I'm coming home from work, already thinking about dinner, when I see both girls sitting at the kitchen table, serious expressions on their faces. We need to talk, Hannah says. Nothing good ever starts with those words. They tell me together, taking turns like they'd rehearsed. Melissa and Cameron want to adopt them. Both of them, officially. They'd been discussing it for weeks, apparently. How it would work legally since they're adults. How it would just be a formality to make them official family. How it wouldn't change anything with me. Except it does, I say, my voice flat. That's exactly what it changes. Dad, please don't be like that. Lily's got tears forming. This doesn't mean we love you less. You're still our dad. You'll always be our dad. But Cameron fits better with our lives now, Hannah says quietly. And there it is. The truth underneath all the careful phrasing. Cameron fits better. The guy who's been around for 6 months fits better than the man who raised them for 20 years. I stand up, suddenly exhausted in a way that has nothing to do with the long day at work. Do what you need to do. You're both adults. I can't stop you, and I won't try. That's it. Hannah's voice cracks. You're just going to let us go. What do you want me to do? Beg you to choose me? Fight with your mother through lawyers? Make you feel guilty for wanting a different life? I grab my keys. I'm going for a drive. We'll talk when I get back. I don't come back for 3 hours. When I do, both girls are in their rooms, doors closed. I stand in the hallway between their bedrooms. Rooms I painted years ago, one purple and one yellow, because those were their favorite colors when they were 6 and 8. Rooms filled with memories of bedtime stories and homework help and late-night talks about boys and friend drama and everything else that makes up a childhood. This is what single fatherhood gets you. 20 years of sacrifice and structure and showing up every single day, just to watch your kids choose the shiny new option the second it presents itself. But here's the thing. I'm not angry at them. Not really. Kids gravitate toward the easier option, toward the parent who shows up with gifts and possibilities instead of rules and responsibilities. Melissa gets to be fun mom who swoops in with a perfect life after I did all the hard parts. Cameron gets to be cool stepdad with money and time and no history of telling them to clean their rooms or finish their vegetables. Of course, they want that. I'd want that, too, if I were them. March comes. The adoption papers are signed. It's all legal and official now. Hannah and Lily are Cameron's daughters, too. They still live with me. Still call me Dad. But something shifted, like there's this invisible distance that wasn't there before. Hannah starts spending more weekends in Harrisburg. Lily talks about maybe transferring to a school closer to Melissa and Cameron so she can be near family. Near family. As if I'm not family. As if 2 decades of raising them solo doesn't count once someone richer shows up. I keep my mouth shut. Keep making dinners they sometimes show up for. Keep being available when they need something. Keep being the reliable option while they explore their shiny new life. My buddy from work, Dennis, asks me about it one day over lunch. Man, how are you so calm about all this? I'd be losing my mind. What's the alternative? Make them feel guilty. Try to compete with Cameron's money? I shrug. They made their choice. Only thing I can control is how I react to it. Still, that's cold. Maybe. But coldness is protection. Detachment is survival. April. I notice Lily's stuff starting to disappear from her room. Not all at once, just little things. Her favorite books, some clothes, that volleyball trophy from her sophomore year championship. Moving in with Mom and Cameron, she mentions casually one night. Just trying it out for a few weeks. See how it feels. A few weeks turn into permanent by May. Hannah follows in June, right after graduation. Cameron's going to help me find a job in Harrisburg, she explains while packing. Better opportunities there than here. Better opportunities, right? By July, I'm living alone in a house that used to hold 3 people. Their bedrooms sit empty, except for the furniture I'm apparently keeping as a museum to their childhoods. I still cook dinner for 3 out of habit, then end up eating leftovers for days. Friends try to sympathize. My sister calls every week. My boss asks if I need time off. Everyone's waiting for me to fall apart. I don't. Instead, I start doing all the things I put off for 20 years. I join a gym. Start taking weekend trips to places I'd always wanted to see. Pick up woodworking, because why not? I've got time now. The basement slowly fills with projects. Furniture I'm building just to have something to do with my hands. The girls call occasionally, usually when they need something. Advice on a job application. Help figuring out car insurance. Questions about tax documents. I answer every time because that's what I do. I'm reliable. But I don't drive to Harrisburg. Don't invite myself to their new life. Don't insert myself where I'm clearly not needed anymore. August, I start dating. Nothing serious. Just going out with a woman named Patricia who works in accounting at a company we contract with. She's 42, divorced, no kids. We go to dinner, watch movies, enjoy each other's company without any complicated history weighing things down. I met her during a routine meeting. She made a joke about my department's overnight shipping habits that actually made me laugh, a real laugh, not the polite chuckle you give coworkers. It was the first time in months I'd felt like an actual human instead of just the single dad whose kids left. We started having lunch together in the break room. She'd talk about her weekend pottery classes. I'd tell her about whatever furniture project I had going in the basement. Easy conversation, no pressure, no expectations. When I asked her to dinner, she said yes, no games, no complications. Our first date was at this Italian place. She wore a blue dress that matched her eyes and ordered exactly what she wanted. Second date, a movie. Third date, she came over, and I cooked. Fourth date, we just walked around the park for 2 hours, talking about nothing important. By date 5, I'd stopped counting and just enjoyed having someone in my life who wanted to be there without needing something from me. Patricia had been married for 12 years to a guy who decided he wanted kids after all, even though they'd agreed from day one they wouldn't. When she wouldn't change her mind, he left. She didn't hate him for it. Said people change, and sometimes that means relationships end. That perspective made sense to me. No drama, no victim mentality, just acceptance. She got that I had complicated feelings about my daughters. Didn't push me to talk about it or try to fix it. Just listened when I needed to vent and changed the subject when I needed a distraction. It was easy. Uncomplicated. Exactly what I needed. September 2025. My phone rings at 11 p.m. on a Thursday. Hannah. Dad. Are you awake? I am now. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. She pauses. Can I come by this weekend? I miss home. Home. Interesting word choice, considering she hasn't lived here in 4 months. She shows up Saturday morning looking tired, thinner than I remember. Wearing clothes I don't recognize. We make breakfast together like old times. I handle the eggs, she does the toast. We talk surface stuff about her new job and my woodworking projects. She keeps glancing around the kitchen like she's cataloging what changed. Nothing changed. That's probably what's throwing her off. Coffee is different, she finally says. Same brand I've always bought. I know. That's what's weird. Everything here is the same. Like time stopped when we left. She's quiet for a moment. Cameron's house. Everything's always changing. New furniture, new art, new rules about where things go. It's exhausting trying to keep up. I pour her more coffee and wait. How's life in Harrisburg? I finally ask. Fine, good. Cameron's great. Really helpful with job stuff. She's pushing eggs around her plate. Mom's around more than she used to be. But it's like, I don't know. Like she's trying so hard to be this perfect mom that it feels fake. Like she's performing instead of just being. Hannah looks up. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. She keeps trying to recreate memories we never had. Like last week, she suggested we do a mother-daughter photography day where we'd go take pictures together and bond. But I don't care about photography. I never did. That was always her thing, her dream. And when I told her I'd rather just hang out and watch movies, she got this look like I'd personally insulted her art. Hannah sets down her fork. And Cameron's family is nice, but they're all so formal. Everything's a production. Every dinner at a fancy restaurant. Every conversation has to mean something. It's exhausting. Last Sunday they had this brunch thing, invited like 20 people, made this big deal about introducing Lily and me as their daughters. Everyone was so polite and interested, and I had to explain 17 times how Melissa and I reconnected after years apart, like I was performing in a play about someone else's life. She starts crying then. Not dramatic sobbing, just quiet tears rolling down her face as she stares at her breakfast. I thought having a real family again would feel good, like having a mom who's present and a stepdad who cares. But it just feels wrong. Like I'm playing pretend in someone else's life. You don't have to stay there, I say carefully. Your room's still here. I know. But if I leave now, Mom will think I'm rejecting her again. And Cameron put all this work into helping me find a job. I can't just bail on them. Can't bail on them. But bailing on me was fine, apparently. I don't say that, though. Just tell her she's welcome here anytime. Whenever she's ready. She spends the whole day. We work on a bookshelf I'm building for the living room. She helps measure and cut, and doesn't talk much, but her shoulders gradually relax. By dinner time, she's almost back to being the Hannah I remember. Almost. She leaves around 8, hugs me longer than normal at the door. Thanks, Dad. For what? For not saying I told you so. Wouldn't help anything. No, but you'd be justified. She wipes her eyes. I'll call you next week. Okay, you better. October. Lily calls. Similar story. Everything's great. Cameron's wonderful, but she misses how simple things used to be. Misses our quiet dinners and terrible jokes, and the way I just let her talk about nothing for an hour without trying to make it into a lesson. Mom keeps trying to bond by taking me to photography exhibits and talking about art, Lily says. But I don't care about photography. I never did. That's her thing. Did you tell her that? I tried. She got all hurt like I was rejecting her passion. Then she spent the next 3 days being really quiet. And whenever I asked what was wrong, she'd say, nothing. I'm fine. In that voice that means she's definitely not fine. A frustrated sigh. Cameron's easier. He mostly just asks about volleyball in school, but his whole family is so competitive about everything. His brother makes these comments about success and achievement that make me feel like I'm failing at life because I took a gap year. His brother asked me last week what my 5-year plan was. I said I didn't have one, and he literally said, well, that's concerning at your age. I'm 19. What 19-year-old has their entire life mapped out? She sounds exhausted. And Melissa keeps posting these photos on social media of us all looking like this perfect blended family. She tags me and Hannah and everything. My friends from home keep commenting how happy we look, and I just want to tell them it's all fake. We're smiling in those pictures, but 5 minutes before the photo, Mom was stressed about lighting and Cameron was lecturing us about how to hold our shoulders. They're both miserable, but neither wants to admit it yet. November. Melissa texts me. The girls have been asking about Christmas traditions. Would you be willing to share some family recipes and maybe tell me how you used to celebrate? I want to make sure they feel at home. I stare at that message for 20 minutes. This woman wants me to help her create fake memories with children I raised alone. Wants me to give her the blueprint to a family life she abandoned so she can paste herself into it retroactively. I respond, you should make your own traditions. They're adults now. Let them choose what they want. Professional. Neutral. Giving her nothing. December rolls around. Both girls ask if they can come home for Christmas. Not visit for Christmas. Come home. I tell them, of course, you're always welcome. Don't mention that Patricia will be here, too. That I've started building a life that doesn't revolve around being their dad. Christmas Eve. Both girls show up with enough luggage for a week-long stay. They're quieter than I remember. Older somehow, even though it's only been 6 months since they moved out. Patricia's coming for dinner. I'd mentioned her in passing a few weeks ago, and both girls had seemed fine with it. Now, watching them unpack in their old rooms, I wonder if they actually processed that information. Patricia arrives at 6 p.m. with a pie she made and this bright smile that lights up her entire face. She's got shoulder-length auburn hair that's going gray at the temples, laugh lines around her eyes, and this way of making even mundane conversations interesting. She's wearing jeans and a red sweater. Nothing fancy because I told her we keep things casual. Girls, this is Patricia. Patricia, these are my daughters, Hannah and Lily. The word daughters feels heavier than usual. Dinner's polite but weird. Hannah keeps watching Patricia and me interact like she's studying something foreign. Lily's quieter than normal, pushing food around her plate. Patricia doesn't seem to notice, or if she does, she's gracious enough not to mention it. Asks about their jobs, their lives in Harrisburg. Makes easy conversation that fills the awkward spaces. After dinner, we're cleaning up, and Hannah corners me in the kitchen. You didn't mention Patricia was your girlfriend. I said I was seeing someone. Seeing someone is different then, she gestures vaguely toward the living room where Patricia's helping Lily pick out a movie. Then being serious. We've been dating for 4 months. It's not that serious. She's here for Christmas, Dad. That's serious. I set down the dish I was washing. You moved in with Mom and her new husband. You let him adopt you. I'm not allowed to have someone in my life, too. That's different. How? She doesn't have an answer for that. Later that night, after Patricia leaves, both girls want to talk. We sit in the living room, same places we'd sit for family meetings when they were kids. Except now there are only 3 of us, and the dynamic is completely different. Dad, we need to apologize, Hannah starts. I wait. We messed up the whole adoption thing. Moving to Harrisburg, choosing Cameron and Mom over you. Lily's crying now. We thought we were making the mature choice. Thought we were being fair by giving Mom a chance. You were, I say. No, we weren't. We were chasing this fantasy of having a complete family without thinking about what we were giving up. Hannah's voice cracks. You were our complete family. You always were. We just couldn't see it. We want to come home, Lily says. For real. Not just visiting, living here, being a family again. And there it is. The request I'd been waiting for. The apology I'd never expected. Part of me wants to say yes immediately. Wants to hug them and tell them their rooms are ready and nothing has to change. Wants to go back to being the center of their world instead of the backup option. But I can't do that. I love you both. You know that. You'll always have a home here. I look at each of them in turn. But things are different now. Different how? You're adults. You made adult choices. You chose to build a life with your mother and Cameron. That's okay. But I can't just be the safety net you jump to when that life doesn't work out. We're not using you as a safety net, Hannah protests. Aren't you? 6 months ago, you told me Cameron fits better with your lives. That you wanted to be officially part of his family. Now that it's not working out the way you imagined, you want to come back like nothing happened. We made a mistake, Lily says desperately. Isn't that what parents do? Forgive their kids when they mess up. I forgave you the second you left. But forgiveness doesn't mean I'm going to pretend the last 6 months didn't happen. It doesn't mean I'm going to put my life on hold waiting for you to decide you need me again. The silence is heavy, uncomfortable. The kind of silence that means everyone's thinking things they're afraid to say out loud. What about us? Hannah finally asks. Where do we fit in your life if not here? You're my daughters. That doesn't change. But you're also adults who made choices that showed me pretty clearly where I ranked in your priorities. I'm not going to compete with Cameron and Melissa anymore. If you want to be part of my life, great. But it's going to be on my terms, not just when it's convenient for you. That's harsh, Lily says. Maybe, but it's honest. I stand up. You're welcome to stay for Christmas. Your rooms are here. But after that, you need to figure out what you really want. Not what's easiest or most comfortable, but what you actually want from your life. And I need to keep building mine. Christmas Day is tense. We open presents. I got them both practical gifts, nothing too sentimental. They got me things that feel like apologies wrapped in paper, a nice watch, a leather-bound journal, things that say, "We're sorry," without using words. Patricia comes over for lunch. The girls are polite but distant, watching her interact with me like they're seeing their dad as an actual person for the first time instead of just a parent. Boxing Day. Hannah and Lily pack up to head back to Harrisburg. The hug goodbye lasts longer than usual, both of them crying. "We love you, Dad," Hannah says. "I love you, too. Both of you. Always will." Are we going to be okay?" Lily asks eventually. "You need to figure out your lives, and I need to keep living mine." They leave. I watch their car pull away and then go inside to an empty house that doesn't feel quite as lonely as it did 6 months ago. Patricia calls that evening. "How are you holding up?" "Honestly, I don't know. Part of me wants to let them move back in and pretend nothing happened. Another part knows that wouldn't be healthy for any of us." "You did the right thing," she says gently. "Being a parent doesn't mean being a doormat. Sometimes love means setting boundaries." Smart woman. It's been 3 months since that Christmas conversation. January, February, March of 2026. Passing in a blur of work and woodworking and building a life that's mine instead of defined by being a single dad. Hannah calls twice a week now. Real conversations, not just asking for things. Tells me about her day, her struggles at work, her actual feelings about living in Harrisburg. She started looking at apartments closer to home, not moving back in, but moving back to the area. Lily's taking online classes and working part-time at a bookstore near Melissa's house. She video calls every few days, usually while walking the dog. Says she's figuring things out, that she needs more time before making any big decisions. Melissa texts occasionally, usually asking about the girls, sometimes trying to make small talk. I keep it brief, professional. We're not friends, and we're never going to be. Cameron sent me a message in February. "I want to apologize for overstepping. I thought I was helping the girls by offering them a chance at a different life, but I didn't consider what they were giving up. You're a good father, and they're lucky to have you." I didn't respond. Some apologies aren't looking for forgiveness. They're looking for absolution. He doesn't get either from me. Patricia and I are still seeing each other. Talking about maybe taking a trip this summer. Nothing crazy, just a week somewhere neither of us has been. She's got this calmness about her that makes everything feel manageable. Makes me remember what it's like to be with someone who chose me. Not someone I'm constantly trying to prove myself to. The girls know about her now. Really know. Hannah asked to have coffee with her last month. Just the two of them. No me involved. They talked for 2 hours apparently. Hannah said afterward that she gets why I like her. Life is funny like that. You spend years pouring yourself into something, only to have it change completely. But sometimes, when you finally let go, you find yourself again, and maybe, just maybe, something even better.